true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you. The City of Barrie acknowledges the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people, which include the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We also acknowledge the Wendat Nation Huron, who occupied these lands prior to the middle of the 17th century. We're dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and recognizing the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land. We are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. You may be seated. Members of Council, I'm going to ask for a little bit of liberty here so that we could proceed with the presentation portion right off the bat so that I quite literally don't have to hop back and forth. And so tonight, Madam Clerk, do I need to get a vote on that to change the order of the agenda?
Just an acknowledgement from council would be fine.
Is everyone okay with that? Wonderful. Thank you. So first of all, we'd like to recognize St. Joseph's Catholic High School senior boys basketball team on winning the gold medal at the OFSA Boys AA Basketball Championship. I'd like to congratulate St. Joseph's Catholic High School senior boys team on a fantastic season, and I'll now invite a representative of the team to the podium to say a few words about the season and help hand out their certificates.
So I just wanted to say thank you to the City of Barrie, the mayor, all the councillors, including St. Joe's alumni, Mr. Morales, for having us here. I'm not sure if anybody else went to St. Joe's, but our team is honored to be here tonight. And for me personally, my dad was the planning director for the City of Barrie for 27 years. So I've seen the great tradition by the city in honoring championship teams over the years at City Hall. So just our season highlights: we won 5 of 7 tournaments we went in this year. We were the Catholic champions, GBSA champions, and city champions, where we beat St. Peter's in the final. So I just got to apologize to our worship because I know he is a St. Peter's alumni. So, but I did talk to Stacey Levely, who coached you, and he said you could dunk back in the day. So maybe not now, but back in the day.
A couple videos.
There you go. And I told my guys that, and they were impressed by that. So we had an overall record of 36 wins and 2 losses. We were perfect 20-0 versus GBSSA competition this year, which is our local competition. We finished on a 22-game winning streak, which culminated in OFSA A championship in Ottawa, and this was the first OFSA basketball championship for a Barrie school in 28 years since Innisdale won it in 1996. So our senior boys basketball team was a very special team and the best team that I personally ever coached. We had a disappointing end to our season last year, losing to our rivals from Aurelia Patrick Fogarty. This gave us motivation going into our season, and we set out a goal to win GBs and make it to OFSA as the redeemed team. The boys were a very unselfish group that always worked together, sacrificing their individual successes for the success of their team. Their chemistry on the court and preaching strong team defense and sharing the ball on offense fueled our achievements on the court. At OFSA, the provincial championships, St. Joe's would beat Terrio from Timmins, Llewellyn from Sudbury, All Saints from Ottawa, and King's Christian from Oakville in the semifinals in a thrilling 2-point game. In the finals, we faced local school Ashbury College in a hostile local environment and started the game down 8-0. The boys righted the ship after that and came home with the 58-46 victory and the OFSA AA Boys Basketball Championship and the school's first ever OFSA Team Championship in any sport. So once again, I would just like to thank the City of Barrie and their staff present here today in allowing us to come together here tonight in recognition of our OFSA gold medals. Thank you. I can do it pretty quick.
You want to call them and I'll hang them out? And
It's the other team.
beautiful.
Okay. Sure, absolutely, that'd be great. Okay, so I'll call them out here. So first off, we have number 3, Riley Walsh. Number 4, Captain Sean Harrington. And a side note, last time Barrie School won was Innisdale in 1996, and Sean's dad, Paul Harrington, was one of their coaches, so we have that, got a connection. Number 5, Jonathan Warden, who's not here tonight. He's actually trying out for a Team Ontario baseball team, but I'll make sure he gets their certificate. Another captain, number 10, Ryan Harris. Number 11, Destiny Omori. Number 12, Matthias Lee. Number 14, Logan Forsythe. Number 15, Tristan Cooper. Number 20, Zakora Onwuka. Number 21, Joseph Chooch. Number 22, Will McCauley. Number 23, Adetoria Amuli. And last but not least, and always best dressed, number 24, Ebenezer Olachesi.
Would you like the team to come down for a photo?
Absolutely, that'd be great. Yeah, thank you so much. Come on down, guys.
Members of council, I think the fact that I got ratted on that I used to be able to dunk, I think these kids are probably thinking the only thing this guy's good for now is getting dunked on. And it's true. Come on, guys. I'll go in the back. You guys go in the front. Yeah. It's the best one.
Camera's over here? Okay. Yep. Just go around the mayor. Can you crouch?
This is the only crowd I've ever seen where the mayor gets out the front.
I don't know where to look. Thanks. Just look at the central. Yo, Will, you're covering the mayor.
Like that, the red sweater can't really see
Cool.
his
Go
face.
ahead, go ahead.
Let the mayor back in.
Who are you looking at? I don't know.
Okay.
Just looking at the space, bro. Now let's go, let's go.
Thanks again.
There were certainly some times you stand up here and you go, I never thought I'd be giving out certificates to St. Joe's students. But congratulations to the team. And that team would obviously not be as strong without the coaching and the support from the parents. So parents, coaching, and school, thank you so much for having such an impact on these great young people's lives. We're now going to move on to the second presentation of the night, and that is for the Barrie Royals Under-11 girls basketball team on winning the provincial championship. I'd like to congratulate the Under-11 girls team on a fantastic season, and I'll now invite a representative of the team to the podium to say a few words.
Well, thanks for having us back. We were just here a year ago. Appreciate it. Drew and St. Joe's. Well done. Awesome job, guys. Yeah, so I just want to say congrats to our girls. Back-to-back champs. As far as I've been told, never been done in Royals' 39-year history. These girls have done it. So... 33-0 against their age group this year, so they dominated. So I'm so proud of them, proud of our coaches, our assistant coaches, amazing. Manager's not here, which is my wife, so I definitely have to give a shout out. Amazing job there. And parents, again, to bringing them to practice, doing it all for them, right? Appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you. Girls, come down again. Well, let me call your names and then come down.
I heard it was strong management, weak coaching. That's just what I heard.
Hey, all the time, that's what I hear. Yes. So, first off, we have Harper Batrick. London Hubin. Sage Barrowclough. Anna Pitts. Josephine Zyla. Sophia Dominelli.
Congratulations,
Isabella Ashwood.
Congratulations, Isabella.
Gwyneth Smizek. Did I get that right? Yes. Claire Gallagher. Haley Bartlett. Kayla Grant. And Pearl Tabika. And assistant coaches Paul Zyla and Jocelyn Hubin. Girls, come down for your picture with...
It'll be easier to be seen on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you're back over here, face this way. Okay, girls, you got this.
Pearl down in front. Anna, just move over.
Guys.
Claire is coming right here. Yeah,
certificate backwards.
Oh, wait, where's the
Front row, knee, take a knee.
Now that peg leg has changed my life so I can walk around, but standing on it makes me feel like I played a basketball game just now. It is incredibly taxing, but I just want to, before I let everyone go, I want to invite our student mayor down. So Madam Clerk, I believe you'll be doing the swearing-in ceremony this evening, and usually we start with this. And so for those students who are here today, I just want you to know a little bit about the program. In the City of Barrie, each school that participates is able to send a student to City Hall, and they become student mayor for a couple of weeks. And they get to participate in the meetings and come to some events. And Councillor Morales and myself were both student mayors a number of years ago. So it's a great program. I'll hand it over to you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. We're welcoming Grayson this evening as Grayson Main as our student mayor. So we will get you to repeat after me the oath. I, having been elected to the office of student mayor for the period of May 1st, 2024 to May 15th, 2024, do solemnly promise and declare.
I, Grayson Main, having been elected to the office of student mayor for the period of May 1st, 2024 to May 15th, 2024, do solemnly promise and declare
That I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability.
that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability.
That I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof.
That I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof.
For the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner.
For the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner.
That I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect.
That I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect.
In accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act.
In the accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act.
And that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III.
And that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III.
And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true.
And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that is of the same
Go ahead.
that is of the same force and effect as if I made under oath.
If you can join me in welcoming Grayson, her worship, to Barrie City Council. Congratulations. Before everybody heads out, we're just going to introduce everybody to Grayson. So we'll start with Ward 1.
Well, congratulations, Grayson, and welcome to City Council. My name is Claire Riepma, and I'm the councillor for Ward 1.
Welcome, Grayson. Craig Nixon, Councillor, Ward 2. Congratulations.
Good to have you with the team, Grayson. Anne Marie Kungle, Ward 3.
Welcome aboard, Amy Corser, Ward 4.
Congratulations, I'm the Deputy Mayor and Ward 5 Councillor Robert Thompson.
Welcome to the team. My name is Neguse, Ward 6 Councillor.
Welcome aboard. I'm Gary Harvey, Councillor in Ward 7 in the southwest corner, the Holly area.
Welcome, Grayson. I am Jim Harris, Councillor Ward 8, which I believe is where Will Landing is. Thank you.
Welcome to Councillor, Your Worship. Sergio Morales, Councillor for Ward 9.
Welcome, Grayson. I'm Bryn Hamilton, Councillor for Ward 10.
And I'm Mayor Alex Nuttall, and again, welcome to Council. I'm now going to ask if you'd like to leave, certainly take the opportunity to do it now. I tell the student mayors it's all riveting stuff, but if it's not your thing, I totally understand if you'd like to go. Okay, members of council, we're going to continue with the evening. We're now past student mayors, which is item 4, moving into confirmation of minutes. The first item for the confirmation of minutes is the meeting held from April 17th, 2024. Those have been circulated. Are there any corrections? Seeing none, they are adopted as printed and circulated. We've already completed the awards and ceremonies. There are no reports from officers. We are going to move on to deputations this evening. There's one deputation from Simon Captain. Was I even close? You can tell me if I wasn't. Okay. Sir, if you could come to the podium. You have 5 minutes once you start speaking for your deputation. And if you could, just for the record, state your name so I do it correctly in the future.
Yeah.
Is this a light or not? Is there a light here or no? No? Okay, I'll do my best. My name is Simon Kaptein, K-A-P-T-E-I-J-N. Okay, ready? Dear Mayor, members of council and student mayor, I personally have been involved in development for about the past 35 years. The proposal as presented is severely degrading the opportunity to develop this site and others to build so much needed housing. Questions and comments to the proposed project and memorandum. Items 1 and 2, auto-oriented design. The memorandum mentions a high-quality complete street. Question, is the road widening a cost-effective and best practice way to determine housing? And where is that in the official plan within the MTSA district? Kindly provide a specific policy. The memorandum encourages supporting cyclists, pedestrians, and transit users. Question, what is the existing and proposed curb-to-curb distances at the intersection at Bradford and Tiffin North Crosswalk? And question, how much further is the North Crosswalk for pedestrians to cross the roads beside the transit hub? And how many additional lanes are there? Are speeds lowered at intersections to 40 kilometers? Item 3, development yield. Memorandum claims that the study recommendation will not negatively impact development yield, but it does. A scaled-down version showing the approved plan for the city of Hamilton at 26 meters wide, inclusive of 4 traffic lanes, was presented on June 20th, 2023. The difference of 8 meters is what is proposed along Bradford Street, which would equate to a significant amount of additional housing unit. This no one can challenge. Site-specific for our properties on Bradford Street, the picture attached shows how much high-density developable land is taken away under the existing official plan and additional protection lands identified through the study. See the pic attached with the blacked-out area. This is completely avoidable. With the proposed road widening and using 17 Jacobs Terrace approved density as a precedent, roughly 760 square meters of high-density zoned lands will be taken away, and this would equate to 48 units lost. This would also affect the neighboring properties 250 and 252 Bradford Street. The proposed road raises questions at Tiffin and Bradford. Why do we require to shift the access into the waste treatment plant when I have seen hundreds of trucks accessing the plant with no problems at all? The pics show the negative effect and impact on the proposal on our site, which can be avoided by scaling down, not straightening the existing road, and modifying the access into the waste treatment plant. Item number 4, loss of revenue. We're all for improving the street, but it can be done in a scaled-down version by reducing the center landscape strips and road width, and thereby increasing property tax revenue through housing supply and more people spending money into the local economy. The loss of tax revenue, specific to 244, 246, and 248, our site on Bradford Street, using 17 Jacobs Terrace development density as a precedent, 48 units at $2,766 for 2023 property tax, sourced from 2 Toronto Street condo, is $132,678 per year in perpetuity, and these taxes would be lost. Finances. A scaled-down version would cost far less to maintain and still achieve the same objective: open up more land for development and increase tax revenue. Question: is it worth the time, effort, to money spent to negotiate expropriations on the smaller properties along Bradford Street where developable land is taken away? A scaled-down version would alleviate this. The total developable land plots are objectively decreasing. Item number 5, safety at Bradford and Tiffin intersection. Straightening out a road will increase speed. Question: what is the design speed for the proposed road, and what is it now? Since when does a wider and straighter road with further pedestrian crossing distances lead to improved safety for vulnerable pedestrians and cyclists? Question: is there a sign-off from the safety consultant that wider and straighter roads are safer? Is there a sideline issue? Then reduce the speed limit to 40 kilometers per hour or less in that section. There's no need to take away high-density zoned lands by straightening and widening the road. Item number 7, land conveyances not discouraging redevelopment due to land conveyances in the memorandum. On our side, it will, because as proposed, there will not be much left to develop. It will be difficult for a developer to combine properties between John Street and Tiffin due to the individual owners and frontages of 50 or less feet. Conveyance will certainly not encourage development and create a wait-and-see attitude. A conclusion would be, we understand the decision needs to be made to move forward, but we don't think this is the right one. A scaled-down version of this proposal, or alternative 5 in the staff report, seems better suited and reach Council's strategic priorities given its improvement to housing affordability, community safety, infrastructure investments by supporting active transportation, climate benefits, and responsible governance by increasing the tax base as opposed to increasing infrastructure and maintenance costs. With respect to our properties, we ask if the recommendation is to be approved, it will be approved within the existing 34-meter right-of-way only and remove the additional protection identified through the study. See the pic attached with the blacked-out area. Respectfully.
Thank you, sir. And we did give an extra about 40 seconds on top of the 5 minutes, okay?
I'm sorry?
We did give an extra 40 seconds on top of the 5
Thank
minutes
you.
there.
Appreciate that.
So thank you for your deputation. Are there any questions for the deputant? Seeing none, thank you for your presentation this evening. We'll be dealing with it further on in the evening there. Okay? Thank you, sir. Now I'm going to ask the Deputy Mayor to, sorry, folks. Move on to tax applications. Deputy Mayor, I believe you do have something this evening.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, the tax application to council for cancellations, reduction, and additions of tax dated May 1st, 2024.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, that the list of applications to council for cancellation, reduction, or additions of taxes dated May 1st, 2024, submitted by the Treasurer in the amount of $92,635.49 be approved. Any questions or comments with regards to the cancellation of taxes? Mr. Treasurer, any, or CFO, any thing you want to add there?
I did not receive any, Mayor.
Okay. Now call the vote. All those in favor? It's approved. There are no communications, and we'll move into committee reports. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that Section A of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, to Section A of General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted. This is 24G085, referred by motion 24G062, correspondence from circulation list dated March 20th, 2024, regarding a request of the province to extend the removal date of listed non-designated properties from the municipal heritage registers. 24G086, 2024 Doors Open Barrie event. 24G087, investigation, additional free transit options for seniors. 24G088, correspondence to municipal heritage registry, register listed properties. Are there any comments or questions with regards to the motions on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated April 23, 2024, now circulated, be adopted.
Sorry, just balancing the meeting and listening to my doctors. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, to Section B of General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted. 24G089, referral motion. 23G153, Bradford Street Corridor Study, Municipal Class Environmental Assessment, Wards 2 and 8. Are there any questions or comments? Over to Councilor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Nettle. So I'll be voting against the Bradford EA as tabled, and I'm going to give a couple reasons why. Simon, sorry, I can't get your last name right, but I'm not going to repeat Simon's points. They were great and thorough in detail, specifically about the questionable need to straighten out a road, because that doesn't exactly produce safe speeds. Members of council will remember I kind of spent a little bit of time with this with some other members of council a couple of months ago. This has converged at a time when I've been allocating a lot of my time to other things as well. So Simon, I know I owe you a response, but I'll more than honor it with my comments here. Here's why I won't be tabling the Bradford E as tabled. We shouldn't be building a barren high-speed arterial on Bradford Street a block away from the water. That's kind of a given. While we do need to move traffic through our downtown, the opportunities that we have to not only create a really great space on Lakeshore, which we already have, but even on Bradford Street, a more quaint place is this is a blank canvas, essentially. That's what Bradford is. So that's not a place where we should be creating what will essentially be, no one's doing it intentionally, but creating a barren high-speed arterial. I'm also of the strong opinion, personally, that we will never build a rapid bus transit, the BERT lane on Bradford, and here's why. But if we bake it into the EA, like that there's a possibility, but that by extending the right-of-way, we could get this, it's going to have two effects. It's going to mean that we're going to just end up with more right-of-way, and when the BERT doesn't happen, we're just going to end up with fast lanes, refer back to point about high-speed barren arterial. And number two, it's going to stifle two things, redevelopment on Bradford Street, because you're now taking significant meters, almost, in my personal opinion, not backed up by what's necessary on Bradford Street. And some of these parcels, you look at the Dairy Queen, you look at some of the little smaller ones, an extra 8 meters on the front means there's no project. And hence the point to Simon about housing, about development fees, et cetera. So number two is going to stifle redevelopment. And number two, It's going to stifle restoration of homes of unique character. I don't want to call them heritage homes, but I know I touched base with Councillor Nixon on this, and months ago, some of these homes will be swallowed up. Like they can't be restored. So people are in a situation for the next 15 years where people are going to be in a situation next year's, and I know I spoke with Councillor Nixon on this. I'm not saying he's agreeing, but I had this conversation months ago where the people that are currently in those homes, specifically between John and Tiffin, they have no incentive. Now, you can do as you want. I'm not giving you directive, but it appears that they would have no incentive to restore a roof, to do really good work to their porch, because they're stuck in this limbo thing where all that money, they're not going to get it back because they're in the way of the right-of-way. So it stifles redevelopment and restoration efforts of homes with unique character, dare I say heritage. So it's an interesting one. Mayor Nettle, there's also another point, another strong point that increases my belief that a bird may never, and again, it's not predicting or what I want to say, it's just my opinion of my expectations, won't happen on Bradford Street. And that's the fact that we might get a future redevelopment of the Wellington Street Plaza, which completely changes the angles at which we want to move traffic quickly. If there was nothing at Wellington, which when we started this, we didn't have an idea that something might come in the Wellington area, shouldn't limit it to the plaza. Bradford Street made sense, but if there's now an expectation that maybe Wellington Plaza and area becomes a critical urban redevelopment node, you want to angle that, one wants to re-angle the trajectory of moving traffic fast, not onto Bradford Street, but on something, and I'll take no credit for it, Hannah Bregman said years ago, onto Ann Street. That is the now it's barren right now, with the exception of a couple of industrial businesses. But if Wellington, the connectivity to Wellington to Essa Road, the preferred path becomes Ann Street, because now if you do it on Bradford Street, you need to develop some sort of BERT or something on Dunlop Street West, and we're likely going to do it anyways on Essa Road, whether it be the rail spur or on the actual asphalt. So you're going to have 1, 2, and 3. Whereas if you do it on Ann Street, you only have to do Ann Street and Essa Road. You don't have to do Dunlop Street West. So with the fact that Wellington Plaza is coming forward, this more and more, beyond Hannah's great points about the urban design, it more pushes it towards it being more appropriate on Ann Street, which again further makes me confident that we don't need this much right-of-way to efficiently and effectively move traffic in and out of our downtown. Finally, Simon, again, I appreciate your presentation. I'm not making these comments for you or because of you. Your properties are very much affected. If anybody looked at how the road needs to be straightened out, his properties are gone. Like, he has no incentive to ever fix it. I am not telling you, it's not legal advice, but you have no incentive to ever fix a roof, a shingle, repave the asphalt, et cetera. So I'm stuck in a situation where I don't want to see Bradford Street almost by design, unconsequential, become dilapidated before it gets better. And I just don't think we need this Bradford Street corridor. Again, I know this was referred months ago, and my apologies, Mayor Nuttall, between some of the housing stuff, some of the other files, this kind of got caught up in the weeds and there was no change. But I do commend Simon for the research and the deputation that he gave. So I'll be voting against this, needless to say.
Thank you, Councillor, for the comments. Are there any other comments? I'm going to go with Councillor Harvey, then Councillor Harris. I believe you had your hand up as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'm not sure if is Ms. Banfield available for questions by chance? Okay, great. Yeah, just a question to staff, because, I feel for the position that the deputant's in. But then when I look at the one map that would be on page 36 of the staff report, where it really hones in on that Bradford-Tiffin intersection, which is the area that's affecting the properties that the deputant spoke about, I can also see why the change in the curvature of the road is there. And I just want some either confirmation as to why it was done, but it appears to me, because there's also a dedicated bus lane that's being added on the east side of that intersection, and it's obviously adding an additional length for those left turn lanes, whereas right now the left turn lane is extremely short. would that be the rationale, and actually, it would actually be making the intersection much safer and being able to handle a higher traffic volume? Or is there some other rationale as to why the curve in the road is being proposed the way it is?
Thank you very much for the question, Councillor Harvey, and through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Harvey. You are correct. In your, it is about the intersection improvements for sure are about the future state to respond to all of the changes that are going to be seen in that area. Most significantly, obviously, is our own transit hub investment, but you are correct. That is the rationale for that.
Okay, great. Thank you. I will be supporting the staff recommendation here. Just to touch on one thing that Councillor Morales just spoke about pushing the traffic to Ann Street. To be quite honest with you, when you look at how far west Ann is from Bradford, and I don't think that we could or should ever think that just Ann Street is going to be there to allocate that type of traffic, or else we're going to run into problems the way we had on Mapleview before. Now we've got these additional arterial roads that are around to support the traffic. So having more than one main arterial road that's at least 4 lanes wide is what we need in this part of the city, because obviously when Lakeshore was done and it was only down to a single lane, it was done specifically because they don't want the large flow of traffic onto Lakeshore unless you've got a reason to go to Lakeshore. However, it is a much more scenic drive than what it would be on Bradford. But I definitely will be supporting it. I feel for the deputant because, yeah, it does wipe out his 3 properties with this. But when you look at it from a safety and an overall perspective, it definitely makes sense to me.
Councillor Harris?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I think my first question was covered by Councillor Harvey's question. I thought there was 2 really important points raised. Mr. Captain obviously raised the point about potential to increase the housing and density on Bradford, and of course, Councillor Morales mentioned similar, and also the safety. And I did notice the memorandum that we received from staff talked directly about why we're trying to straighten that out, the area out towards Tiffin. For the Ward 2 councillor myself, that's a dangerous intersection. We get lots of accidents at that intersection. So obviously, I understand from the memorandum that, and Ms. Banfield, you can correct me, that really that straightening was about visibility as we come to the intersection and take the curvature out of the intersection. Is that correct, Ms. Banfield? Through your Mayor Nuttall, sorry.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Harris, that is correct. And just one other thing to point out is, the 34-meter right-of-way, and it is in the memorandum, is what's in the 2051 official plan, so that is consistent. But back to that intersection, 100% that you are correct, Councillor Harris.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure, I know staff had a lot of consultation got into this Essa Road and Bradford corridor, and I wanted to make sure that safety obviously was paramount in the discussions that were held on this decision. And the other thing I wanted to mention or ask was about the density. Obviously, the corridor, it's an important corridor within the area that's designated to be intensified. And the memorandum also covers, because there's differing opinions, and we've heard a couple tonight, staff's consideration for this being developed in such a way that it would actually improve the opportunity for increased density. Was that central to the decision about this decision?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Harris. So really the environmental assessment really is trying to tie the proposed land use, which is going to be similar, if not identical to some of the applications we've already seen, high density, high volume of users, most likely multi-residential buildings with, hundreds, if not thousands of units. It's the connection of ensuring that we have the infrastructure to align with those increased residents. And that's ultimately where the two go hand in hand. And yes, while there may be additional land taken up through the proposed right-of-way width in the official plan. That's what we're going to want if we're going to have that many residents and people in the area. We're going to want proper infrastructure, and that goes beyond vehicular traffic.
Great, thank you. So so in the net, the design is to support intensity in the growth center, not to inhibit it. Is that a fair, I guess, categorizing? Yeah.
Apologies. Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Harris. Absolutely, that is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harris. Councillor Corser, and then Councillor Kungle. Councillor Kungle.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to you, Ms. Banfield, if I may, just to build on Councillor Harris's comments. As an example of that, my understanding, unless I'm incorrect, was the Smart Centers, 3 towers that are all going to be exiting on Bradford. Is that correct?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Kungle. That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Councillor Corser, and then Councillor Nixon.
Yeah, I have to say, through you, Mayor Nuttall, I just wanted to say that as well, caught up in the weeds of all the rest of things that have come forward. Looking back to this, I'm reminded of a couple of questions that I had, and I think they can be addressed. I just want to check if they can be addressed in the future, because I'm looking at these drawings, and I seem to remember having some concerns about the width of intersections for rest points for people who may find it difficult to cross intersections. But I think that we had that discussion previously, Ms. Banfield, and even so, further in the future, when these areas, intersections are developed, there is a possibility to insert an island or a rest spot within intersections. Is that correct?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Corser. That is correct. As we go through the detailed design of any future road development or road network there, street network, complete street network, there would be those opportunities.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments with regards to the item on the floor? Okay, seeing none, folks, for me, I think we need to make sure that we're planning good in routes and out routes of our downtown. Having grown up in the southeast corner, when you're coming down Lakeshore, if you're no longer taking Lakeshore, the plan was always to turn Bradford Street into the main artery into our downtown and take people off of Lakeshore and leave that for folks who are finding a destination there. So at this point, for me, to reduce the size instead of have it as wide as possible for the many, 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 many years of development that will be taking place along there, it doesn't fit my view, certainly. And the other item is, we've had some aspirational requests with regards to new public transit items. One was, could we come up with a way to have a connection between the top of Essa Road and the transit terminal and downtown? And in order to even consider doing that 50 years from now, we'd have to have that lane that we're going after right now. Otherwise, it's just never going to happen. And so, for me, I think it's a difficult situation. I can understand the situation you're in. I've been in it before, and certainly. These types of decisions affect individual property owners. They affect individual homeowners, and those are very, very, very difficult things for people to go through in the community. So, sir, I understand what you were saying this evening, and I understand the concern that you have, and I don't want you to think that that's going unheard. I believe the council has heard you. We at the same time need to make the decisions that we believe are going to be most advantageous for the entire city as we're making, as we're moving forward. So that's my comments, and I'll call the vote. So all those in favor of it, it's approved. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, that Section C of General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted. This is with regards to 24G090 zoning bylaw amendment application 500 Salem Road, Ward 7, 24G091 2023 year-end development charge reports and treasurer's statement, 24G092 2023 year-end cash in lieu of parkland report and treasurer's statement, 24G093 2023 year-end community benefits charges report and treasurer's statement, and 24G094 the 2024 tax rates. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the items on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that Section D of the General Committee Report dated April 23, 2024, now circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, that Section D of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be received. These are 24G095, Report of the Affordability Committee dated April 10th, 2024, 24G096, Report of the Community Safety Committee dated April 17th, 2024, and 24G097, Report of the Infrastructure and Community Investment Committee dated April 17th, 2024. Are there any questions or comments with regards to reports from the committees? Seeing none, all those in favor, and it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that Section E of the General Committee Report dated April 23, 2024, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, the Section E of General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted. This is 24G098, Kempenfest. Any questions or comments with regards to the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that Section F of the General Committee Report dated April 23, 2024, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, the Section F of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted. This is 24G099, Electric Vehicle Supply Equipment Management. Councilor Harvey.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I have a referral motion moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Morales. That motion 24G099 of Section F of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024 concerning the electric vehicles supply equipment management be referred back to staff and corporate facilities to explore third-party turnkey service providers where the City of Barrie would retain ownership of the electric vehicle infrastructure and contain revenue sharing with the city, and report back to General Committee.
It's moved by Councilor Harvey and seconded by Councilor Morales that motion 24G099 of Section F of General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024 concerning the electric vehicle supply equipment management be referred back to staff and corporate facilities to explore third-party turnkey service providers of the City of Barrie would retain ownership of the electric vehicle infrastructure and contain revenue sharing with the city, and report back to General Committee. Any questions or comments? Would you like the floor, Councilor Harvey?
Yeah, if I could just, am I able to explain the rationale or no?
No, I just gave it and took it away.
Okay.
It's a referral motion. I apologize. I set you up there. Didn't mean to. It's a referral back to staff. And so I will call the vote. All those in favor of the referral, it's approved. And you can tell somebody why later. On the main motion, do I need to go back to the main motion or just through the referral? Yeah. Okay, so on the main motion for the referral, Section F, all those in favor? And it's approved. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that Section G of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, that Section G of General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, now circulated to be adopted, 24G 100, Administrative Penalty System. Any questions or comments? Councilor Harvey.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I have an amendment moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that motion 24G-100 of Section G of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, concerning the administrative penalty system be amended by 1, deleting paragraph 3 and replacing it with the following: that the city clerk be authorized to hire 2 screening officers/junior prosecutors funded by the Automated Speed Enforcement Program revenue, and staff report back to General Committee regarding any additional resource requirements due to the volume of violations to be processed, and 2, deleting paragraph 6.
It's moved by Councilor Harvey and seconded by Councilor Harris that motion 24G-100 of Section G of the General Committee Report dated April 23rd, 2024, concerning the administrative penalty system be amended by 1, deleting paragraph 3 and replacing it with the following: that the city clerk be authorized to hire 2 screening officers, junior prosecutors funded by additional Automated Speed Enforcement Program revenue, and staff report back to the General Committee regarding any additional resource requirements due to the volume of violations to be processed, and 2, deleting paragraph 6. Councillor Harvey.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Nuttall. For the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I know last week we had quite the discussion around whether or not the one piece on Section 3 that I'm amending, whether or not 40,000 violations was the magic number or not. And it seems that there's just not enough data available right now to say that that is the number. And that's why through some further discussions with the city clerk, who is also the director of legislative services, and then also later today we did receive that updated memo from her also regarding this, with this being one of the options. So all it's doing is putting a pause on these additional automatic hires every 40,000 violations, and giving staff the initial 2 screening officers and junior prosecutors that they're requesting, and then reporting back, so then that way we can determine probably a lot better and more accurate, because then they'll have more data as to how many people they're going to need per violations for future hires.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions or comments on the motion? Over to you, Councillor Corser.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Harvey, I'm just wondering of the request to cancel paragraph 6, that for reporting back annually to advise the number of violations issued, process, associated resources that have been retained. I'm just wondering if, because I would like to see that piece just for informational purposes.
So I'm going to pass that one to the clerk, because that piece of it was on the recommendation of
that I
of the
missed.
clerk.
Okay.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Corser, we deleted paragraph 6 because we kind of covered it off in the amendment in paragraph 3 for staff to report back. So we're just deleting redundancy in the motion to have it staff kind of report back twice when we're reporting back anyway.
Okay, so this isn't to erase staff, stop staff from reporting back, it's just in this context. Okay, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Hamilton.
Thank you, and through you. Sorry, just to pick up on what Councillor Cursa says, so part of item number 6 is for staff to report back on the number of violations issued and processed, and then the associated resources. So are we still going to hear back on the number of violations issued and processed? Because that's not captured in number 3.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Hamilton, we would include the number of violations when we report back. We probably will need more staff, so there'll be a report back anyway.
Okay, and a quick follow-up, if I may. Just because staff had put this forward as a recommendation, just given sort of the volumes that we're anticipating and the necessary resources to deal with it, does staff have any input in regards to if we're not granted sort of that flexibility to add staff when you need it as we're ramping up, are we seeing or predicting perhaps, some issues with efficiencies and effectiveness of delivering the program by having to come back and having obviously probably a lag period, or I just would like to sort of hear staff input on what the risk is if we do remove this at the outset.
Mayor Nuttall, through you to Councillor Hamilton, the intent of the original direction was to provide that flexibility so that we could address streamlining responses, so and ensure that we weren't delaying the timeline to actual screening review with a contravener. However, there isn't a lot of data as it relates to ASC cameras and the amount of people who will be taking that to screening review. There is the possibility that not having that authority may extend a period slightly, so for people to get to a screening review, but we would have the opportunity to report back, and if it was an urgent situation, we would speak with the clerk about the potential to call a special meeting for that. The intent was to allow us to deal with that, but recognizing council's concern with the lack of data, we've included the option for us to report back.
Okay, thank you. I don't share the same concern. I think staff should be given this type of flexibility to deal with demands and resourcing. So if my colleagues feel more comfortable having to come back, that's fine. But yeah, I sort of feel in this case, this is what we're hiring staff to do, right? But I will respect the amendment coming forward.
Thank you, Councillor Hamilton. I believe there was a point of clarification.
Yeah, if I couldn't, you can either say yay or nay to the question, but I just wanted to raise a point of clarity that outside of what the original motion was, I know it's happened in the past that the CAO has the ability to hire people as he sees fit if that urgency comes up and there's funding available.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. More of a comment than a point of clarity, so I'll encompass it in my.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just wondering if the CAO wanted to clarify that was the case, but.
Okay. Mr. CAO, you have a question.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Harvey, we do have the ability to bring on staff, not permanent full-time staff, which, to be honest, at this time does make recruitment more challenging. So while we can plug some of the holes, we can't always get all of the candidates that we would look for with the highest and best quality in a tough market. So it is possible, but not always practical. Councillor Harvey would be my answer.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I'm going to go with Councillor Corser, then Councillor Rietma.
Waiting for you to speak, sorry. Just a point of clarification, again, that the number 6 erasing that paragraph, that doesn't handcuff us of requesting for more reports quarterly. I was looking for more reports of infractions coming back to community safety.
So, Councillor Corser, I think that through our KPI process that's ongoing, I think that's probably one of the items that you could request on behalf of community safety. I don't think it would be something that would, this motion wouldn't stop you from asking those questions.
Okay.
Councillor Rietma.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had quite a discussion about this last week. I find myself not feeling strongly one way or the other, but I do think that Councillor Harvey's amendment does move the ball forward, and I think it's probably a good solution at this point. And frankly, if staff discover that, rather than 40,000 items, they're swamped at 25,000, they'll probably come back really quickly to us to ask for more staff. So I think that gives us the flexibility, and at the same time, I don't want to be micromanaging, but it's a new program, so I'll be supporting the amendment, I think.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I just want to, first of all, Mr. Bass, last week you got a thank you and a congratulations in the middle of a debate. So I want to pull back from, it's one of the nice things about City Council, right? It's a different format, and really do want to say thank you on behalf of Council. and quite frankly, on behalf of the community, because based on the results that we've seen, reduction of speeds, it results in a safer community. And that's what we're after. The dollars associated seem to get the headlines. The safer kids going to schools is what matters at the end of the day. So thank you to you and your team for being a big part of making that work and making that happen. In terms of the numbers, I think we're in the neighborhood of annualized numbers of 50 some odd thousand tickets or something like that, if we continued at the same rate. Is that correct?
Through Mayor Nuttall, is 50,000? I'm just asking Roger because I'm not quite sure.
Mayor Nuttall, if you'll beg my indulgence here to speak, the information that we have to date was based on the limited number of resources we had to process violations. So, and also based on our first 2 locations that had the highest volume of speeding with the most speeding over the limit. So as we move to areas that had less volume of speeding and the rate of speed is lower, there will be less violations, but we have added resources since those positions in the Joint Processing Center are funded by LAS, the subsidiary of AMO, not by the city taxpayer. We've added more positions to process violations. We're able to process more than we were with only 1 staff initially and then a second one. We now have 3 staff and will likely increase as other municipalities join Barrie's processing center. So it's a little early for us to say 50,000 when we started with the sites that had the highest volume of traffic that was over the speed limit and the greatest amount of speed. And we also had very limited resources to manage reviewing camera images. So as our resources go up, we may have more violations that we issue, but the locations generally would have less speeding. So
I'll interpret that too. We went after the low-hanging fruit. We got to low-hanging fruit. There may be some fruit that we didn't get to because we didn't have enough resources, but generally, if we were to annualize out what we've already seen, it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 50,000 infractions.
yes, we're cautiously saying that, given we haven't been at those locations yet.
Okay, awesome. So we're approving with the amendment here 2 personnel flex to basically put into one of 2 positions based on need and requirement, as I understand it. And then we were approving an additional staff member prior to the amendment for every 40,000 violations. And I guess if I can maybe hone in my comments from last week, it's difficult to say for me, based on the limited number of infractions, that we needed every 40,000. And I think that, you know, what our public servants were able to do during the week and provide us with a memo today, they said the same thing, actually. It's the most educated guess that they can give us of 40,000, but it's an educated guess in the sense that we don't have the past data to really back that up. And the variance between municipalities was 6 and 25% or something around there. And that's a pretty large variable. So I'm going to support the amendment. In fact, I would have supported this amendment last week. I ended up voting against the item last week. And I'll certainly support it tonight. And my feedback would be this, is that if there is an immediate need and we get that data that says, hey, we're falling behind, we're losing out, we're not enforcing our bylaws, and therefore it's not bringing down the speeds on the roads, then I would expect an immediate memo to council
And if we need to do a direct motion or a direct motion even without notice on this subject, I think everybody's prepped, right? We've got the staff report, we've got the memo, we've had the discussion. Doesn't matter which way you vote tonight. If staff come back and say we really, really need this, we're going to jump on it. The exception would be in the month of July, where we don't technically meet, and a special meeting would have to be called, as Ms. McAlpine previously outlined. But I'm not willing to go against what I feel is a transparency piece and an accountability piece for council with the public service, like not necessarily although over in the sense that that's our capacity, but with the public service, where we say, you know what, carte blanche, we're going to pen and peg this as the number today, and we probably won't ask questions about it in 6 or 7 months, because we just don't tend to do that. So that's where I feel we should go, so I'll support the amendment and understand if others don't, and we'll see if it passes or fails. With all that, those in favor of the amendment? It passes. And on the main motion, those in favor of the main motion as amended, and it passes. Deputy Mayor, sorry.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales. Motion 24G078, deferred at City Council on April 10th, 2024. Request for exemption from signed bylaw 2018-029 at 201 Fairview Road be
Deputy Mayor, I'm not going to say anything, okay? I'm not going to say anything. It's moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councilor Morales, that motion 24G078 deferred at City Council on April 10th, 2024. Request for exemption from signed bylaw 2018-29-201 Fairview Road, Ward 8. That the application submitted by Permit World on behalf of En-route and the property owner for the following exemptions to signed bylaw 2018-029 at 201 Fairview Road be denied. A, Section 12.1.1.1.0, to allow the placement of a poster panel sign on commercial property that is not vacant, as 201 Fairview Road currently contains the en route facilities and gasoline station. Section 12.1.3.1.1, to allow the placement of a poster panel sign to exceed the maximum heights of 7.5 meters by a further 7.7 meters for a maximum height of 15.2 meters. And C, Section 12.1.3.1.2, to allow the placement of a poster panel sign that exceeds the maximum advertising area for all sign faces, of 40 square meters by a further 20.82 square meters for a maximum sign face area of 60.82 square meters. That is on the floor, and I'm actually going to speak first, that's okay, because I was supposed to go and ask questions and come back, and I did that. The province has said that they will work with us on advertising there. The important piece, it was confirmed for them, is that the advertising related to emergency situations, Amber Alerts, all of those things, yes, that is why they are securing what they're securing. Minister Scaria did not agree that the City of Barrie shouldn't be involved. They actually said we should be involved. There's a cost to that in terms of what the province and the proprietor would be able to gain going forward, but the City of Barrie will be taken care of inside of that. We don't have the definitive, how many ads a day, all of those types of things. I can't give that to you because I don't have it. We're going to get that. But I think at the same time, for me, what I wanted to see was that we're
at the table. We have a province that's making money getting ads. We have a leasee that's making money off of the ads and essentially the lease space, and then we have the operator of the billboards making off it. I don't think it's too much to ask that the City of Barrie is able to welcome people through or tell our story, even if it's alongside the province. So that was the answer from the minister. We don't have any agreement. I don't think we envision having an agreement in 2 weeks. But it's enough for me to be able to say, okay, I'm willing to support it and move forward, because I believe that we will get our message out to both our own residents and residents who are driving through the city. So that's the update. Certainly answer any questions anyone has, and go from there.
After the presentation by En route and company, I still stand firm that I am not a supportive of this sign at all. It is overly large. It is a very big, if I may, eyesore coming into the core of our city. As I mentioned before, I believe I called it a spam board. And I think as we're growing as a city exponentially, we all know that. And we're trying to hold on to a little bit of our history while embracing the diversity and culture which we have the privilege to gain in the process. I think that the sign, which is that large at our doorstep, welcoming people into our city, sends a message that it sends a message that robs us of our character and authenticity as we grow and we define ourselves. And I am not supportive of this sign at all. I don't feel that it fits in the landscape, and it sends the wrong messaging to our community. It is a big, flashy ad board that is going to be the first thing people see when they come into our core, and I'm not supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Corser. I now have Councillor Kungle.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. So I thought the staff report was pretty robust, and we had pretty good conversation about it. I'm not in support of permitting the sign. I'll support the staff position here. If we had something that was maybe formal around a condition, I think it's positive, and I thank you for reaching out and exploring that. I think that's wonderful. Without that condition baked in with any guarantees, I would regret supporting this without any type of benefit should that not fall through for any circumstance, and those things just happen.
Councillor Reed.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for following up and having a discussion with our friends at the province. I hear what you've said is not very definitive as far as I'm concerned, and I would much prefer to have a signed agreement from the minister before we actually move forward to approve this. Let me say as well, there are thousands of people that go by this site every day. And as a city, when we want to invite people to come and live here, and factories and businesses to come and provide jobs here, we need to put our best foot forward. And as our city grows and as we finish the reconstruction of the highway, MTO finishes it, I think we really need to have a really hard look at what our city looks like and how it sends a message to people that are considering moving here. And I don't think that a sign that is twice as high and 50% bigger than what our bylaws provide is appropriate. And I think one of the things that we have to think about is, what's the purpose of a sign? Well, the only purpose of a sign is for people to look at it. And frankly, with all those people driving on the highway, I'd prefer they'd be looking at the other cars and not at the signs. So I struggle with this, and I don't believe that this is something that we should be approving, simply because it sets a character for our city. And I really worry about the precedent, because on the other side of the road, you know, further down the road, there are other locations that will say, well, you agreed to that one, why can't we have one too? And I think that is a slippery slope that we don't want to get anywhere near. So I'm in support of the staff report. I thought it was well done, and that's where I sit. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. First, I'll ask you a question, and then in your conversation with the province, and I know that I got to be careful how I say this, but with this vote tonight, if we continue from what we did on General Committee to deny it, will we be getting the sign? Do you believe?
My guess, we're getting a sign either way.
So with that, I look at it, so, you know, I always want to be a piece of the pie or none of the pie. So I think by what we said and asked for you to go and speak with the minister and having us included, and I know there's an amendment, and we'll see how that goes, and if not, I have another one to maybe some comfort with some of the discussion. So I'll leave it at that, but that was kind of my thoughts.
Councillor, I went to Harvey, then Harris last time, so I'm going to go to Harris and then Harvey this time. And then Councillor Hamilton. 3 H's.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mayor Nuttall. Having some WWE flashbacks here. So, I mean, and I see Ms. Tiedmerch and Ms. Petzold in the audience tonight, and I thank them for their deputations last time. I think, you know, I appreciate you had mentioned you go to the province, and I hope that in some ways we talked about, and I know many of my colleagues did what I did, and they probably went and Google mapped all of the en route sites and went, geez, it doesn't seem like Barrie's is similar to anybody else's. And I don't want to put words in anybody else's mouth, but it didn't appear that way from the visuals, although maybe 5 years from now Cambridge will be similar. We'll accept that as possible future seeing. But I think that maybe what you got from the minister was a representation that it is different. This sign is in a different location. It's appreciably different than the other 23 sites, whatever the number is. So I thank you for that. And I remember one of my first questions was, if we say no, what of the MZO, does it happen anyway? Like, that was part of the original conversation. Didn't really get an answer, but I think I asked the question because I knew the answer, as Deputy Mayor Thompson just said. So, what can we make out of this, I guess, is the question. And I would say the motion on the table as it is constituted now, the amendment, sorry, doesn't get us there. So I will definitely be voting no to this amendment and supporting the staff recommendation. But if there's something else that's coming forward, I'm happy to listen, given the reality that is likely to happen, that this sign at twice the height, at 50% larger display area, will be there someday. So with that said, I will not support the amendment. I'm in favor of the staff support, so we'll see what comes. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harris. Councillor Harvey?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Nuttall. He let the cat out of the bag about the amendment. I guess I shouldn't let him look over my shoulder anymore. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Negussi, that motion 24-G-078, deferred at City Council on April 10th, 2024, request for exemptions to sign bylaw at 201 Fairview Road, replace the word denied with approved.
Sorry, if I can ask Councillor Harvey, can we add, this is bringing back old memories, on the back, could we add something that says that all other provisions of the sign bylaw apply, and that we are, another sentence that says that this is approved in compliance with the direction by the Minister of Transportation for the province of Ontario.
I'll tell you what, just because you read that out pretty well, if you want to scribble that, I can initial it, however
Problem is,
it's
when I
easiest.
write, no one understands.
Actually, if you look at the front, you might not read half of mine either.
If we could just take a moment here, folks.
Mr. Mayor, just in terms of just the process, it seems to me that that amendment is contrary to the matter that's on the floor, and so if we want to approve this, then we would vote against the matter that's on the floor. Wouldn't that be the way to do it?
The problem with that, Councillor, is that results in no action. Just because
That's what we want.
Maybe what you
want. That's what you want.
And actually,
Said the quiet part out loud.
The result of the vote against the denial is no action. It is essentially a denial, right? So for those that are saying they don't want to deny, they want to approve, they can't just vote against what's on the floor. They actually have to change what's on the floor.
Okay, I'll wait for the revised motion.
Okay. Councillor Harvey, may I be you for a second and move your motion?
You can definitely repeat the add-ons there. Go ahead.
It's moved by Councillor Harvey and seconded by Councillor Negussi that motion 24G078 deferred at the City Council meeting on April the 10th, 2024, request for exemptions to sign bylaw at 201 Fairview Road. Replace the word denied with approved in compliance with, and this is multiple doctors on one sheet of paper here. In compliance with the decision
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Because either 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, we had the same issue. And I was at that point advised that we could overturn a committee meeting. The question's been asked by Councillor Rietma tonight, and there's a question on it from the clerk. So my recommendation would be this. I don't want to defer this because if the question can't be overturned with contrary to the previous direction given at General Committee, then deferring it does nothing. It just pushes it down the road, and it's lovely. People will have to come back another 2 times instead of another 1 time. So I would prefer that we have a referral back to General Committee for May the 8th, and it would then be approved at May the 15th through City Council. And in the meantime, we will get a written memo outlining the procedures with relation to overturning of decisions that were made at General Committee to make sure that we're holding the same bar across the board on every vote. Okay, is everyone comfortable with that or not? Councillor Rietma, you raised the question.
Yes, and I think I'm comfortable with that. Could I ask as well, if we're deferring it, can I ask?
We're not deferring. Referring.
Oh, referring it, pardon me. To General Committee in 2 weeks. Could we have at that time sort of a definitive answer from the minister in writing telling us what our role is in this and how much money we're making and all those kind of good things?
Yeah, Councillor, we're not making any money. We weren't invited to the program to make money.
Well, I thought I could try.
I don't think we need to wait for that answer. We do have an email coming back from the minister on that. Not in there yet, but we do have an email coming back from the minister committing to advertising for the City of Barrie that we can partake with the province on their share.
Mr. Mayor, I think that I would feel much more comfortable if I would see that email, and if we can see it before the next General Committee meeting, then I think that's the right thing to do.
Okay. In terms of referral motion, we'll need a new amendment referred. Councillor Hamilton.
Sure, I can refer it. I'll put that forward. I just want to clarify. So it's just a technicality because we can't overturn a General Committee decision and introduce a new.
So,
okay, just not
Councillor,
sure.
yes, I'm not sure I agree with it, but I'm not confident enough to go through it and not get myself in trouble. So,
as a precaution,
I would prefer that we just refer back, and either way, if you deferred, it's going to come back in 2 weeks, and we could be in the same position. If you defer, if you refer to General Committee, you still come back in 2 weeks, except we've gone through the necessary steps, and we'll get a memo in the meantime, and I will go and watch some video to make sure that we're consistent, because we can't be.
Okay, so seeing how we cannot approve the amendment tonight, I will put forward a motion to refer.
So we need that written out?
Yeah,
that,
we don't have.
Oh, the clerk's ahead of me?
Oh.
Councillor Corser, you have a question?
Question, because this is really getting confusing, is if this gets referred to General Committee, will we be able to put forth amendments or requests when it comes back?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll be expecting, hopefully, answers from the ministry before that time, but there's conversations I would like to have about what we would be asking of the ministry. Would that be still on the table for a conversation at that point at General Committee? I would like to see a difference in the size of the sign.
A different size to the sign? Well, you're not asking the ministry for that.
No, okay.
if you're looking for different size of the sign, you're mandating what the size of the sign will be.
Okay, so that's part and parcel of the bylaw anyway, because it doesn't pass in the bylaw. Okay, sorry.
Correct.
Just trying to wrap my head around all this process. Thank you.
Councillor Kungle.
Thank you. Mayor Nuttall, I don't understand the purpose of the referral. So I understand it could be problematic, perhaps around changing a motion to being framed as approving, having been gone through denied. Why aren't we just casting a vote on the way it's currently framed, and you'll end up with the same outcome?
Because you won't end up with the same outcome, because if you defeat the denial.
Is it not approved?
No.
So it's still dead?
It's dead either way if you vote on it. If I were to call the vote and council went 6-5 to vote against the recommendation from general committee, it would be dead. And if it went 6-5 the other way, that it was in favor of the recommendation from general committee, it would be dead. So
then I would kind of say maybe for a process, whether it comes back around whether or not we can change it, it would be good to understand and to go forward. Should motions like this come forward and it actually has a change of vote, how does that impact an item coming back in 6 months or not?
I completely agree. That's why I've asked for the memo on that, and I believe we actually made a decision the complete opposite way in the past two council meetings. So where I had said that it was actually allowed. So rather than flounder anymore on the as a fish out of the water, I think it's probably better to refer it back. If council wants to refer it back, if not, then we can vote to defeat it, because it'll all depend on where the votes lie. But
Okay,
I'm going to get a referral motion, and we'll not be able to talk about this anymore.
Okay.
Did you introduce it already? Okay. It's moved by Councillor Hamilton and seconded by Councillor Morales. The motion 24G078 be referred back to General Committee of May the 8th, 2024. It's not debatable, so I'll call the vote. All those in favor of referring back to General Committee, and it carries. I think we spent more time talking about not doing something on something than we did doing something on something. Do we have to call a vote on the main motion on that since it's been referred? Yeah. So vote on the main motion. All those in favor, referral back. It's approved. Okay. Deferred business is referred business. We are now going to move on to inquiries. Are there any inquiries from members of council? Seeing none, let's go to announcements. Deputy Mayor Thompson, do you have any announcements?
I have none.
Do you have any other announcements? Councillor Kungle?
Thank you. I just wanted to welcome the public to be coming not just to the Barrie Farmers Market this Saturday, but to the Barrie Wellness Fair. So thank you to those partners. I believe it's police, the library, and I'm going to forget a third partner because my window closed. Sorry? CMHA and others. I think there's over 30 different agencies that will be at City Hall. So you can find information about that on the City of Barrie website. But again, it's always a great activity to find out what's happening in the city, but also with a lens on wellness. The Active Transportation and Sustainability Committee meeting is tomorrow at 5:30. And Communities in Bloom is on Tuesday at 4. And I highlight that because we're also looking for a member of the public. If you're interested in an appointment to the Communities in Bloom, there is information on the City of Barrie website under that committee. The deadline to apply by a member of the public is Friday, May the 17th. If you're not sure what we're doing, or if you're keen on getting involved, I would invite you. The meetings are public, so we are here at the city on Tuesday at 4 o'clock for our next meeting. And again, for those that are getting ready for their gardens, our 25th anniversary of Communities in Bloom is this year. We have international judges coming in July. Please look at the program online. It'll be the same as 2023 around different categories, but the color this year is orange. So more information will be coming soon around registering your business or your residence, or even your I would say, your youth tied to being able to compete in different categories. And lastly, on May the 11th, if you're out and about, join us at City Hall for the unveiling of our City of Barrie bird on World Migratory Bird Day. And thanks again to all those involved, including communications staff at the city and the Nature Barrie City of Barrie bird team.
I'm guessing it's not the nuthatch. I'm just guessing. I was following along. I don't think I made it. Councillor Hamilton.
Thank you. I just want to collectively invite residents from Ward 9 and Ward 10 to attend our first town hall held jointly by Wards 9 and Wards 10 with Councillor Morales. It will be held on Tuesday, May 7th from 6 to 8 at the Barrie Surface Water Treatment Plant on 20 Royal Parkside Drive. We'll be joined by Mayor Nuttall, by Barrie Police Services, staff from Waste Management, Transit Services, Development Services. So bring your questions or come for a listen on some of the updates pertaining to Wards 9 and 10 and also citywide, or come just to enjoy some cookies and coffee that I hope Councillor Morales will be bringing.
It's a lot of pressure, Councillor Morales. If you mess that up, people get angry about food. I know that. Any other announcements? Seeing none.
We got a home run over here.
Oh, Councillor Nixon.
Thank you. Yeah, just to mention this Saturday, 2 o'clock at the Barrie Sports Complex will be the second annual Home Runs for the Hungry charity baseball game with all proceeds going to the Barrie Food Bank. We've got put a couple of good teams together, a combination of some Barrie Baycats, Barrie Colts. We have Rock 95 personnel playing, as well as CTV News, Cool FM people playing as well as we have some notable sports.
Me? Are you talking about me?
Killer Congo will be playing in the ball game. You don't want to miss that. Councillor Morales will be the umpire, so just watching someone throw baseballs in his direction for a couple hours is probably got to be worth the price of admission right there. So tickets are available.
I've ejected players and coaches before.
Exactly. BarrieFoodBank.org for tickets. Just click on Home Runs for the Hungry. You can get your tickets online. They're only $10. Kids under 12 are free. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nixon. Looking forward to it. I am pleased to announce that the City of Barrie has been recognized by Georgian College, the Board of Governors, with the Board of Governors Award of Distinction, Community Partners Award. The city received the award in recognition of inspiring excellence at Georgian College and for demonstrating incredible commitment towards the college and students. So I would like to congratulate Bala, General Manager of Infrastructure, and his entire team for all of their hard work, and congratulations on receiving this award. Bala, you've got like that, it was all in a day's work look on you, you know? It's like, oh, stop, you know?
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. This award really is a distinction, this award of distinction is a recognition of the city as a community partner to the college. The city and the college have a long-standing partnership. This partnership provides the city with talented co-op students, and this award is also a recognition for the good work that Ms. Schlichter's team does, collaborating with the college in the delivery of various skills development initiatives. So this award is really, I mean, I only received it, but it's a testament to all the work by all the staff across many divisions across the city, and I think it reflects the strong alliance that the city has with the college. So I just accepted it on behalf of the city, but it really belongs to all the city staff.
Well, yeah, thank you so much. I hope you thanked your parents when you got the award. So I've proclaimed the following the month of May as Guillain-Barré syndrome and chronic inflammatory, I am not going to be able to pronounce this, but demyelinating polyneuropathy awareness month and National Celiac Awareness Month. May 1st as Doctor's Day, May 2nd as Take Back the Night Day, and the week of May 6th to 12th as Children's Mental Health and Mental Health Week. National Youth Week takes place starting May 1st and runs until National Child and Youth Mental Health Day on May 7th, 2024. During this week, communities recognize and celebrate youth and their positive contributions to the community. For further information or a list of activities, please visit barrie.ca/National Youth Week. Beginning on May 6th, applications can be submitted for the city's 2024 License to Ride program. And the program offers Barrie youth aged 12 to 16 free rides on Barrie Transit and access to free recreational opportunities at the city's community centers from the 1st of July to September 2nd. For further information, visit barrie.ca/license to ride. A reminder that changes to curbside collection have come into effect today. For more information, please visit barrie.ca. I know that we had a high volume of calls today, so some of the wait times might have been a little longer than normal, but that comes when we have these types of changes in both waste collection and transit coming into effect. The City of Barrie is looking for feedback from the community concerning culture plan and public art strategy. Residents can provide their input by completing the online community and culture sector survey dates. For further information or list of the other opportunities for community consultation, please visit buildingbarrie.ca/culture plan update. The Barrie Air Show is returning to Kempfelt Bay on Saturday, June 15th and Sunday, June 16th. Fun and free program will be taking place all weekend long, starting on Friday, June the 14th. For information, you can visit barrie.ca/airshow. And one of the really neat things that Ms. Schlichter and her team have been able to work on and bring to the table this year is on that Friday night, I believe. There will both be a show downtown at Meridian Place, and following that, a drone show over the waterfront. And I'm not supposed to shamelessly plug our sponsors at every opportunity, but I'm going to because I think they deserve a shout out. Not only did Pratt Homes sponsor the actual air show, but they also sponsored making the drone show happen as well. And you know, when our businesses are giving back, I think we need to recognize that and say thank you. So thank you to Pratt Homes for that. That is, I believe, all I have. So I'm going to go to Deputy Mayor Thompson for the bylaws.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 46 to 51.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, that leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bills 046 to 051. Any questions or comments with regards to the bills on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's approved. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Morales, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Bill 52.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Morales, the confirmation bylaw that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 52. Any questions or comments with regards to the confirmation bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's carried. Can I get a mover and seconder to adjourn? I've got Councilor Negussi, Councilor Harris, all those in favor? It's carried. We're adjourned at 9:25 p.m.